All the best once again to all competing teams in the Eastern region, and of course, when the finals come to the national stage in October. Let's move on to Tech Talk now on News Desk. Our resident IT consultant, Kobe Spike Nkrumah, is with us. And Spikey, will start off with Huawei. What's happening there?
So, when Donald Trump was president, he implemented this trade ban that prevented Huawei from receiving Google software and basically doing business with tech companies in the US. Now, this impacted Huawei in a very negative way, in the sense that people couldn't get the basic functionality called Play Store.
Wow.
You couldn't have access to Play Store on any Huawei device. And this caused Huawei to have to really start to think fast. What are we going to do? We need to have our own store now so people can download their apps. People can still use the smartphones because they're making great devices. But then with that little bottleneck, it started to steer people away from their devices. And now Huawei's decided that, hey, we're going to create our own OS. We're going to call it the Harmony OS. And it's going to run on every device. It's going to run on smartphones, it's going to run on smartwatches, it's going to run on TVs, Internet of Things. And that's actually a very good move, because that means that they're now independent of, all these American businesses that they were relying on for these services to provide a user experience that the users in other countries
are used to.
Yes. And well, they're saying by the 24th of this month, we should be seeing it. But it's going to roll out to users in Asia, where they are mother continent, where it would.
They have a lot more support there, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, in China, for instance, they don't have access to the Western, platforms like Google and Facebook and all that. So they're actually used to not having it. It's us on this part of the world that actually are still used to Gmail, YouTube, Google. I mean, what's a smartphone without a Play Store?
Yeah.
But if they can create an alternative, which they're working on, then yes, everybody will be able to get them out.
The way technology works, Spikey, it's very difficult to count things out. But in the same way, I'm thinking of, OSs like Symbian from Nokia, or OSs like the RIM on BlackBerry, and how they failed woefully.
Failed miserably.
Yeah.
The advantage here with the Harmony OS is that it can still run Android apps. Because at the core, it's got Android there. Now, it's said that it's going to be more efficient in many ways than the Android that we're used to. So I'm really, really excited and hoping to try it as soon as it's ready. And trust me, if it does prove to be more efficient than Android, I wouldn't mind switching, personally.
I'll tell you what I think Huawei and Tecno have as an advantage before we move on. I think that they've always been a cost-effective alternative to Android and iPhone. And so if you're able to keep that, maybe people will get used to the thing, but I don't know. It's. I mean, I'm thinking about my Android and thinking if I can change. But then again, so what's happening with United Airlines?
So you remember the supersonic jets, the Concords?
Yes, the very fast one.
Very fast ones. So they're coming back. United Airlines wants to bring them back. They've actually placed an order for 15 planes that are capable of traveling at twice the speeds of our normal airplanes.
Yeah.
So your usual flights that would take you about 8 hours, it's now going to be about 4 or 3.5 hours, or 3.5 hours to make that flight.
That's really fast.
It's moving at Mach 1.7. That's 1,300 miles per hour.
That's 1.7 times the speed of sound.
Yeah.
That's what Mach 1.7 means.
Yeah.
It's faster than sound.
That's why it's called the boom, because you're going to hear that sonic boom.
Amazing. Look, what this tells me, if United is buying airplanes, is that travel is coming back. The world is beginning to look more normal again after this entire COVID-19, what have you, because the airline industry was the hardest hit.
Exactly.
But Apple is also reacting, right, to this whole comeback.
Yeah, Apple says that, hey, employees, we want you back in the office by September.
In the office?
In the office, yes.
I'm surprised.
And that, exactly. I was also surprised when I saw this, because it's a tech company. Most tech companies, Twitter, Facebook, Google, are now experimenting with more remote work because they've realized that it's more efficient for them. It saves on power, saves on space. Imagine if multimedia did remote work. A lot of our offices would be empty. We wouldn't be paying electricity or water bills for those offices. That'd be saving the business a lot of money. And so, but Apple says, hey, we want you back in the office. I think I sort of understand. Some of Apple's employees actually have to work in person. Imagine if you're an engineer, you can't be doing everything remote. You know, you need to be there to make sure that the die the chipsets and everything are in place. But they're starting
Especially
off
if you're in a team and like you're working on different components of it.
Exactly. And so they're going to be working like starting off with 3 days a week. And they're saying that some would have to work all 4 or 5 days. And if you are entitled to 2 weeks remote work, if your manager approves, then you can work a year. You can work 2 weeks remotely.
In a year?
In a year.
That's apart from days off?
That's not. That's apart from your leave.
Okay.
Or your holiday. So yeah.
Do you think this will start a trend with a lot of companies, calling back their employees?
Apple is a trendsetter in almost everything. So Apple doing this, I'm sure somebody will be like, even Apple is calling their people back to work. Who are you to say that I want to stay at home?
I can think of a few managers here who say that. But cybersecurity, I want to imagine that cybersecurity is one of the reasons why remote work may not be so popular, because everything happens on the internet, and so you're susceptible to be scammed or to be hacked.
You heard about the Colonial Pipeline issue where some hackers, put a ransomware on it. We discussed it on the show. Exactly. A lot of corporate agencies being targeted. The SolarWinds attack was, struck again, and so it's opened up the request for more cybersecurity specialists. They've realized that position has not been filled in most companies. So now cybersecurity jobs are going to be in high demand. Like cybersecurity specialists are going to be in high demand. So if you're listening and you're a cybersecurity guy, I'd advise you to, start improving your CV, adding stuff, because they're going to be the next most wanted people in the tech world.
I saw that coming. I must say, I saw that coming. Not very long ago, but I've spoken to a few experts in the field, like our good friend Joseph Quay, who increasingly the world needs to be safer.
Definitely.
In the cyberspace.
A lot of hacking and ransomware going out here and there, and we're not prepared. We're not very prepared.
Now to my favorite part of what we're discussing, the $100,000 chicken.
Nuggets. So, have you ever played a game Among Us?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Oh, it's a very interesting game. So I'll just give you a brief of how the game is. And if you're looking on the screen right now, you're seeing a chicken nugget with 2 legs, things that look like legs, and then just the whole body. And that's how the Among Us characters look. They just like a whole body and then legs, no arms, anything. And in the game, you are all you go into a flight, a spaceship, and then you all have to be doing tasks. And one person is a suspect. Now you don't know who the suspect is, and that person goes around killing all the other characters in the game. So
you have to figure out who it is.
You have to figure out who it is. They call a meeting and like, you sus. And then everybody goes like, then they vote, this person is a suspect, and they kick you off the spaceship. Now if you're not a suspect, that means that the sus is still on the, so they keep going on until the sus wins or the teammates win.
But how did the chicken become $99,997?
Nobody knows how it became like this, but I think someone who's very, very in love with
with the game
Among Us just thought that, hey, I'd like to buy it, and then paid about $99,997. The first bid was about $14,000, and it just escalated, just went skyrocketed from there. So my question was, when I saw it, so is the person not going to eat it?
That's the point.
Like, I'm looking at it right now and I'm already drooling. Like,
that's the point.
Why would I pay $100,000?
I'm going to make a spiky shaped nugget
and then sell it.
I wonder how much we'll get for that.
We'll get plenty money, yeah.
Thank you very much, Kobe Spiky, for joining us. All right, then. You're live on News Desk. Stay with us. There's a lot more coming up.